Welcome everyone to our semi-final round of the League Challenge 5 here for summer at Cycle Third Place in Imperial, California. I am Jesus Coronel, this is Dennis Geisler. Our first two semi-finalists will be Giovanni Costa and Abigail Watson.
Yeah, interesting matchup here. I mean, obviously Gio, one of the top players in this region, and Abby with a ton of great performances herself. We've got a super stacked top four with Junshi and Brandon on the other side. This one's pretty exciting.
Yeah, this is going to be a really exciting one. We have double dragons from Gio, whose head's not on the camera for some reason. I mean, he'll back up, don't worry, guys. It'll be Dragonite, Garchomp, Golden Go, Whimsicott, Incineroar, and Amoonguss. Abigail, we've seen her on the first round. It'll be Incineroar, Pelipper, Bascu Legion, Amoonguss, Maushold Family of 4, and the Archaludon.
Gio got hit by Spore IRL.
Could you imagine?
The Whimsicott does not have any way to overwrite Rain, so if Abby wants to bring Rain, she can. On Gio's side...
Gio's side is just like mostly Tailwind control.
Yeah, just a lot of Tailwind control, and you have Amoonguss, you have Incineroar, like those are the two... Both teams have Amoonguss and Incineroar, so it could be a decent question of how much they want to protect those two Pokemon, send them out, pivot them around things.
Fun fact,
I don't know.
Gio's undefeated right now.
Oh, Gio is undefeated, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Typical Gio performance, but...
Alright, here we go, game number 1.
I love seeing Gio's trainer card. It makes me so happy.
He's a Dragonite fan, what can you want to say?
Yeah, and this is a good metagame for that Dragonite, too.
Yeah, here we go, we have Incineroar, Chaladon for Abigail, we have Garchomp plus Whimsicott on Gio's end. Incineroar going to intimidate the Garchomp, importantly.
Yeah, and this Garchomp does still have the Life Orb, so if it wants to just go for Earthquake, or even a Stomping Tantrum or something like that into one of these Pokemon that are weak to it, can certainly try that.
Yeah, and here's Whimsicott protecting to make sure it doesn't get faked out in this turn. No, once again, it's a scout turn for Gio. It's always a nice thing.
I mean, it's the fake out turn, so I think it makes a lot of sense.
Into the Garchomp, so...
I think that makes sense. Especially probably like a...
Flash Cannon into our Chaladon to Whimsicott, so I was expecting... Oh, well, I guess that's coming with it then. Ooh, Big Terror coming out from Gio. He's going to confirm it, and he will.
Yeah. Gio always moves quick, and I guess the question here is, what does Gio want to do to try to maximize damage against these two? They are both weak to ground, and that is important to note.
Yeah, and because they're weak to ground, Gio's not going to waste any time to go Terra Ground on the Garchomp.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of the Terra Steel and some other defensive Terras, and Ground is still a defensive Terra. You still remove a handful of weaknesses that you get from your Dragon typing. But also, you get to do a ton of damage.
Yeah. Oh, Abigail's also going to Terra as well. Is this the Archaludon or is this the Incineroar? It's Archaludon.
I think it makes sense.
And it's going to go to Grass typing, so no longer weak to ground.
Yeah, and that's smart. It feels like a semi-obvious play from Gio. It's still not a bad play from Gio, but it felt kind of obvious at that point.
And there's a Moonblast landing onto this Incineroar. Here's Stomping Tantrum from this Garchomp. It doesn't read into the Terra. The Archaludon goes into the Incineroar, and down it goes after a combination blow.
Yeah, and that's even nicer of play than for Gio. I did not expect it to be read that cleanly.
Flash Cannon will connect onto this Whimsicott, though, and that will leave it at 1 HP thanks to that Focus Sash.
Yep. I will say, I guess the good thing for Abby here is that you get to bring in Pelipper if you want. If Pelipper is there in the back, you can bring in that Pelipper, and this would be a pretty decent opportunity to do so. The downside about removing your Dragon typing is that you are no longer neutral to water, you are now just weak to water. And Archaludon also has the opportunity to just go for the tiny Electro Shot into Whimsicott if it wants to.
I mean, even if it ends up being so little, it will end up being a special attack boost even without it, so...
And that's the point, yeah.
Here comes a Moonblast into the Protect of the Pelipper from Abigail, and now it's going to be Garchomp's turn to do what it wants to do, which is Dragon Claw into the Pelipper as well, so that would have not only broken the focus, but probably would have knocked it out. And here comes an Electro Shot. This will hit Whimsicott for a knockout.
Yeah, it sure will. I think that was a smart play for Abby there. The double up onto the Pelipper was I'm not going to say obvious, but it certainly was one of the more obvious plays that Geo could have gone for, and that definitely equalizes, to a degree, the loss of Incineroar earlier, and leaves you still with the opportunity to just keep putting on the pressure here, at the very least.
Yeah, and now comes in the Golden Go for Geo, which this Golden Go is, in fact, choice spec, so it will launch a big amount of damage to this challenge, which is no longer resisted by it. Here's Dragon Claw into the Pelipper, almost half damage on its own, mostly because of that Intimidate from earlier. Here comes the Make It Rain. Will this knock out the Pelipper? It will, and put our Archaludon to half.
Yeah, and that is a very big knockout for Geo. It does give the Archaludon a stamina stack, along with its special attack boost, and it's starting to build up a little bit, but I don't know if it's going to end up being enough. It's kind of has to click this Electro Shot, because that's the only thing that really does good damage to this Golden Go.
And now that it is going to get that Electro Shot off, it's now a +2 special attack. Will this knock it out? No!
Barely not enough, and that is really annoying for Abby.
Especially with the Basculegion in your last Pokemon.
Yeah, and I mean, the Basculegion's going to be nice here because you absolutely outspeed that Garchomp and can do some real serious work now.
Yeah, and now Geo's going to go ahead and make his own pivot, which is going to be the Golden Go out of here in favor of Amungus to potentially cover an Aqua Jet into that slot, which was Abigail's option.
Oh, that's really rough. That is really, really unfortunate.
Here's Stomping Tantrum from this Garchomp into this Basculegion. It's pretty good defenses. Oh, the critical hit at the worst time! And down goes Basculegion.
The crit. Oh, that is really bad for Abby. Should still end up ultimately being not a big deal.
Well, now it goes down to the Dragon Pulse at +2 special attack.
Yeah, you get the Garchomp out of the way now. I mean, at the end of the day,
no, I think Golden Go got. I think Golden Go's got this because it's faster than the Archaludon and Make It Rain's now single target.
Yeah, I think Golden Go is going to be able to handle this one way or another. Was going to be able to figure out this one, and the Pollen Puff also super effective damage with me.
And here goes Make It Rain. Yeah, there it goes. Geo wins game number 1.
Yeah. And that's always the nice thing for Geo, is you always get those real fast-paced games. Even on kind of slower-paced teams, he tends to just see his way through some of these games and just go, okay, this is the damage, and he's usually correct. Going for that Terra Ground Garchomp to just, like, basically muscle through a lot of these Pokemon. The crit certainly contributed to that, which is muscling through some of these Pokemon. Was a big part of getting through this.
Yeah, especially. Geo just put up some great offensive pressure and then caught Abigail. Now that I think about that Aqua Jet turn, yes, Golden Go was like right there to reading the taking, but Garchomp was. Garchomp without protecting, it equally was just as threatened by the Aqua Jet.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing about it is that, like, Garchomp was threatened by Wave Crash. Like, it wasn't even threatened by Aqua Jet, it was threatened by Wave Crash, knocking it out. And I think that's also... I'm not gonna say it was, like, super greedy or whatever from Abby, but... I guess Tailwind was up. Right? Tailwind was up?
No.
Whimsicott never got Tailwind up?
No, it never did.
I was gonna say, if it didn't, then, yeah, it should have just been Wave Crash from Basculegion, or even Last Respects. Because... Aqua Jet didn't actually do anything for you because you outspeed everyone anyway. So I don't really know what the... I don't know what the driving force behind some of those choices were, and potentially it probably wouldn't have mattered that much because just getting a little bit more damage down on the Amungus wouldn't have changed anything.
It also depends on how much damage Amungus would have taken from 150 power Last Respects.
Yeah. Yeah, that's certainly true, although I doubt the Amungus would have been, like, straight up knocked out from full by that.
And here we go with game number 2 here between Geo and Abigail. The winner will move on to our final, and the loser will unfortunately be eliminated. It'll be Mousesaur or Chaludon this time from Abby. Geo gonna new lead this time, Garchomp Golden Go.
Yeah, the the dynamic duo of Maushold and our Chaludon that we saw at Baltimore.
And Geo going in with the Steel Terra.
Yo, he just moves quickly. It's always so fun to see.
That's not the point I want to bring out. It's like Geo wants damage and he thinks now's the time.
Yeah. He always wants it. He always knows, like, immediately is the time. And he's always moving quickly on that.
And here comes this Terra from Geo. It's going to be the Steel Terra from Golden Go with the choice specs. Will boost Make It Rain immensely. And depending on who goes first, this will decide on how much damage our Paladin's going to be taking. Mousehole can go ahead and go for that population bomb. No, it's going to be follow me to redirect.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to mean a whole lot.
It will, because this Archalon did not go for a Terrestrial Vision of his own, meaning it will be resisted to this Make It Rain, which is now still going to remain single target because the mouse will end up surviving the turn. I imagine this is just under half? No, a lot less.
Yeah, actually, yeah, pretty decent turn for Abby, but you still lose your mouse hold for literally nothing. We'll see what the Archalon does.
Dragon Pulse, it's into the Garchomp. Will it knock out? It will.
It will. So that's good. That's definitely good for Abby.
It's a good trade.
It is a pretty good trade, especially with what's in the back here. I think Geo kind of has to start switching around a little bit. And this will get a little bit awkward for Geo.
And now here...
But it depends on what's in the back for Abby as well.
I was going to say, it's going to depend on what...
I mean, I think this is a pretty easy point to bring out the Pelipper, yeah. And I think this might actually be a pretty...
And with the Cockle Geo.
Yeah. I'm not... Not that it'll be easy for Abby to clean this game up, but I think Abby's in a really good spot. Unless Make It Rain at -1 does way more than I think it should.
Encore now goes into Dragon Pulse, so this is not either going to be immune to the Whimsicott, or it's going to be doing no damage. Decent amount of damage to the Golden Go. Looking for the words real quick. Make It Rain at -1 does over half to the Pelipper. Our Shadowdon just gets under half. But where would this Dragon Pulse go if you're Archalon? First of all, Hurricane lands onto this Golden Go, gets it decently damaged. Dragon Pulse into Whimsicott.
That is rough, because I'm not sure if it would have knocked out the Golden Go, but
probably wouldn't. I don't think it would have.
Yeah, at the very least, you want to get this Golden Go out of the way, because it's the only real damage remaining, and...
I mean, Abby doesn't know Geo has a Dragonite.
That's true. I mean, it could be anything in the back. It could even be... it could be any Pokemon back there.
There's Vasculegion coming in for Abigail. Her last Pokemon for game number 2 here. Moonblast into the Wimps. And the Pelipper is enough to knock out, so now this Make It Rain is going to be -2. But still, it's going to be boosted by Choice Specs, by the Terra Steel, and now single target.
Yeah, so closer to a normal Make It Rain. Yeah. And... resisted, it's unfortunate, it doesn't do all that much damage.
But you do have pretty free time to go for Last Respects.
You do, if you are Abby. Although, I don't know. I guess I'm curious how much that does in this case. Because obviously, 150 base power is 150 base power, that's a lot of damage, but...
And here comes the Mungus as well from Geo, so now that comes in, to make sure you resist Wave Crash coming in here, as this is not Aqua Jet coming out in front of this Basculegion, I would presume. There's Last Respect, it goes into the Amoonguss. Okay, that's around 70% HP taken, which will get that Citrus Berry proc to get around back to half, and Flash Cannon goes into the Whimsicott.
It sure does. I think Geo just has to knock out one of these Pokemon this turn. And that's not... I'm not saying that's a trivial thing to do, but I think Geo just has to knock out one of these Pokemon this turn.
I don't really see that happening immediately unless you get a big damage roll onto the Basculegion.
Yeah, I think Moonblast onto Basculegion is the best damage you're going to get. Whimsicott does have Focus Sash.
Yeah, that's still intact.
So I think this is actually totally fine, because Whimsicott has Focus Sash, and so you need to...
Oh, Abby's tearing!
Abby's tearing.
What is this going to be? Archalon on the grass, which will prevent Spore, but will open up your slot to, not only Make It Rain, but also Pollen Puff.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you think that you are going to deal with Amoonguss sometime soon, that's not too much of a concern.
And, okay, well, Basculigin's not really going to have a choice to choose his moves because it'll now be locked into Last Respects, which isn't the worst thing to lock yourself into, unless, of course, you targeted the Amoonguss slot.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter what it was going for there.
Oh, Electro Shock comes out. Did it go after the Amoonguss as well? It's going to be disastrous because this Encore's going to be a little bit of a problem. Okay, goes after the Whimsicott, so that dash is broken, but this will be a problem if our Shadow Knight is Encored without the proper rain turns.
Yeah, and I think that's the... I don't know that I love the decision there because... Like, Geo just put Abby in a situation to take all these hits. Like, the Encore might have helped, but I don't know.
But it's got protects here. Amoonguss... Okay, curiously enough, was a Rage Powder? I am wondering why.
Last Respects goes there. Turn.
Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah, so Last Respects goes down, Amoonguss does whatever, and I think the play for Geo... One, is Rain down this turn? We'll find out. Electro Shot doesn't matter.
Yeah, just gonna get another special attack boost. One. Yeah, another special attack boost, and it's gonna be Whimsicott Golden Go. If this is the last turn of Rain, Geo, I think, has this in the bag because Tailwind.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think what Geo wants is Tailwind.
That's it!
And I think what Geo wants is Tailwind, make it rain, and I think that's going to work. And remember, because of Encore, it can't even Aqua Jet.
No, it cannot. It's stuck using Last Respects, which will knock out everything else, but can make it rain knock out all of the Abigail's Pokemon this turn.
It might be close. It genuinely might be kind of close on the.
But I think I think either way Geo wins this, because even if Basculigion survives, all you need is Whimsicott to survive.
That is true, yeah. All you need is one of the two around with Tailwind, and you're fine. Although I think this is the last turn of Encore, and so you might be able to Aqua Jet out of it. But I don't know if Aqua Jet knocks out either of these two.
I don't think it knocks out Whimsicott. Here comes Tailwind now from this Whimsicott, as we already went ahead and set it. Okay, who moves next? It's Golden Go. It's going to be Make It Rain. This will knock out our Chaladon. Will this knock out the Basculigion? Here it goes. No, it will not.
Barely not enough onto Basculigion.
And now it depends on where this Last Respects went. But I think I don't think it matters because Whimsicott's going to be faster, and Will wants the Moonblast to win.
Yeah.
It goes to Golden Go, and down it goes. Critical hit on a 200 base power.
With the critical hit.
Yeah, critical hit on the 200 base power move.
Yeah. A lot of damage there. And yeah, I think Basculigion just has to try an Aqua Jet here and hope that it wins it.
I don't think it will. I think Abigail's not going to be able to get the knockout with Aqua Jet. Yeah, not even close. That's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Giovanni Costa still undefeated, and now back into the grand final.
Yep, as he does, Geo back into the back into one of our finals here.
I mean, it's impressive how Geo can just dissect a team and just find the right win conditions to not only make himself look like the best trainer in the room, but also make himself look unstoppable.
Yeah, and especially the way he does it so early in battles, and so like. The idea that, and I don't know how far ahead he thinks any of his plays, but the idea that the turn 1 Golden Go Terra was also the way that he was going to win the game at the end is crazy. Like, just the level of steps in between those two turns, but going from the start to the end of that, it boggles the mind.
That's what we will, and we will be awaiting the second semifinal matchup result between Jung Ji-Zhu and Brandon Davis. The winner of that will be Giovanni Costa, and you'll find out who it is right after this.